Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm Emily Mitchell, founder of Motherhood Milestones, and today I'll be running a workshop based on my chapter in Purpose and Passion titled Birthing Business Lessons from Motherhood. As a mother and an entrepreneur, I've experienced firsthand the profound parallels between raising a child and launching a business, and what we can do to support both. So, who am I? Well, I'm here to disrupt the motherhood narrative and help support mothers by creating space for those conversations that we don't have enough, but we need to. Topics like pregnancy and infant loss, IVF, postpartum, topics that society generally hides in silence. I'm a COVID mum. I gave birth to my son in 2020, and I quickly realized how unappreciated and unacknowledged motherhood is, and I decided it just wasn't good enough. I didn't want any other mum entering motherhood as alone and overwhelmed and unsupported as I felt. Becoming a mother is epic. Everything changes in our lives when we become everything changes in our lives when we become a mum, and that is not acknowledged enough, if at all. This really hit me like a ton of bricks the night before my son's first birthday. I was knee deep in cake mix, frosting, and a whole lot of frustration. My vision of a perfect homemade birthday cake was slipping away as the icing refused to cooperate. I was swearing and on the verge of tears. And the next day, as we were all at that table, sitting around, singing happy birthday to my son, I thought, this is awesome. There's so many people here to celebrate his first year of life, but what about me? I'm the one that has nurtured him and kept him alive for this whole year. I'm the one whose life changed immeasurably in every aspect, and no one's acknowledging that. And I just thought, no, it's time. It's really time to celebrate and acknowledge the mums in our lives. So my struggles with that cake and that birthday also mirrored some of the struggles that we face in business as mums. So let's explore the similarities, as they are rather uncanny. So in the preconception phase, we prepare. It's in this phase that ideas and intentions are born. Here, we need to think about the problem we're trying to fix with our business. It's often from pain, wants, or needs a business begins, because any good business solves a problem. Otherwise, there's just no demand for it. So there's practical problems to fix, like creating shoes to protect feet, but there's also emotional or psychological problems to fix, like supporting a mother's wellness and helping her feel valued and seen. So think about your business and think about what problem it fixes, and think about how that makes people feel. That is your selling point. So when I started my business Motherhood Milestones, where I create heartfelt cards for real life mums, I really wanted a mum, when she received a card and then those heartfelt words that are written in there, I really wanted her to feel seen, validated, celebrated, recognized, and I wanted her to feel safe. Safe to have some conversations around that time in her life, safe with that person, and I wanted her to feel supported, and that she can say exactly how she's feeling, that she doesn't have to be someone else. She can be who she is, having that experience. So I wanted her to feel safe and validated and supported. So test your idea with your family and friends and network and see if there's a demand, see if people would buy it from you. Hand in hand with the what you're selling and how you want people to feel is the why. Why are you selling this? Why are you starting this business? And to find your why, ask yourself, what do I want to achieve in this business, and why is that important? And keep asking. Keep digging and digging and digging until it makes you really emotional, and then you've hit the jackpot. In motherhood, our why is rarely asked, but I really urge you to include it in your business why. So my business was born from my own lackluster introduction to motherhood, and I really believe that every mother deserves a better experience. And I don't want any other mother feeling unappreciated, overwhelmed, or alone. So I created my business for them, but also for me, because these are the conversations, the validation, the celebration I needed during my early stages of motherhood. And I wanted to be able to give that to other people and create a mainstream way for people to recognize and celebrate Validate the mums in their lives. So, what is your story and what is your why? Let's move on to the second phase. So, in the pregnancy phase, we grow ourselves mainly, but our business too. In this phase, the seed is planted and it's our opportunity to develop it. This is where we expand our idea and get really clear on what our business looks like and how it will operate. It's like writing a birth plan or preferences, right? But as well as including what you want to happen and who will be there and how you'll get there, also include how you want to feel throughout the process and ways to make that happen. I feel like personal development is key. Expand what you think is possible by immersing yourself in worlds that support your dreams. Give yourself the best opportunity. It's really important to understand what success feels like to you and make plans towards that. Put your blinkers on and do not be sidelined by society's expectations of what success looks like. You know, the corner office or the white picket fence just might not be your cup of tea. Authenticity is really key here because even if you achieve things that people deem successful, if it doesn't mean anything to you, it will feel empty being validated by others and not by yourself. So please check in with yourself regularly, see what is motivating your decisions, and just adjust them accordingly. This phase is also the opportunity to do the work on yourself, to understand yourself, to be aware of what lights you up, what drains you, and where you want to be. And then you can be more aligned to opportunities. So there might be hiccups, there might be discomfort, stuff you weren't expecting might come, and that is so normal. Accept it, welcome it, because growth comes from being uncomfortable. And new awareness is where we learn to trust ourselves. So when we're in those positions and we come through the other end, we can trust ourselves in those situations. So understand as much as you can about yourself, about the business world, so you know your options and where you can turn to for help, because we all need support sometimes. So the third stage, in the birthing phase, we commit. It's go time, right? In this phase, you might be going live or launching and opening for orders or inquiries. It's exciting. It's nerve-wracking. You might feel relief or trepidation or excitement. You know that birth plan you wrote? Expect complications. There's always something that pops up to scare you or unravel your best made plans, but that's okay. This is where we learn. Welcome it. Life would be boring without growth, and mostly everything is manageable. Now, birth is usually the focus of motherhood, and launching usually the focus of business. And while it's so important to be informed and know how you want that experience to go, it's just one step in the journey. As much focus on the birth and the launch needs to go into everything else afterwards. So we know when a baby is born, so too is a mother. So when a business is born, so too is a businesswoman. And that's a whole new aspect to your identity. So who we are evolves, and we get to figure out who we are within this new identity. I found the focus is not so much about retrieving who you were before, but more on who you are becoming. The things you discover about yourself and the world, and the parts you choose to keep and nurture or reject and release really become you. When you're committed to becoming and connecting with yourself, you can't help but grow, and so too does your impact. Please hold and honor yourself throughout this journey just as much as you hold and honor your children. And ask yourself, if you took away motherhood or business ownership, who are you? What do you value? What makes you come alive? What answers does your body have? Are you listening to your intuition? This is your true north, and you deserve to be spending time on it. Try and incorporate a little bit of it into every single day and prioritize your joy, because how you feel matters. Take time to really pause at this milestone and acknowledge your progress. We so often steamroll on to the next thing, but it's really important to stop, celebrate, because all the blood, sweat, and tears, you birthed a business, you put yourself out there, and now the journey really begins. In the postpartum phase, we nurture. This is where we are at our most vulnerable. We have shared our creation with the world and the ball is in their court. Orders and inquiries might fly in or they might not. In this phase, we nurture our creation, learn, try new things, fall, get back up, we recover. We learn the value of patience and perseverance while we try and regain some form of normalcy or balance in our lives. I'm sure that you've heard it takes a village to raise a baby, although that village is often non-existent in modern society. The good news is that we can build a village in business and in motherhood. We can collect people who support us, guide us, and who have walked the path before us so they can give us advice and maybe we can bypass some of the lessons learned. Now, you might be tempted to do everything yourself in the beginning to save money. And I get that because I thought the same and I did the same. I did it all. Tried to build my own website, cold call stockists, manage my social media, write all my newsletters, branding, graphic design, SEO, marketing, all of it while being a mum to a toddler and working part-time in a corporate job. Did someone say burnout? I quickly found that some parts of business just do not light me up. And if engaging people who love those parts is an option for you, consider it because it might lift some weight from your shoulders and free you up to enjoy the experience. I have made some incredible connections with people who have supported my business, and it let me focus on relationship building and income producing activity that really lit me up. When your energy is high, you'll attract more of that positivity and opportunity into your life. Now, while it's in this phase, we realize we need a village. Try and build that support early in the growth stage. Now, in motherhood, there are no awards or, if any, recognition of a job well done. But in business, there are so many awards to enter to really gain that feeling of satisfaction. And going through an award application process is such a valuable experience, and not just for your ego, but for your confidence. As you take time to reflect on your business journey and all the connections and progress you have made, it leaves you proud. It really leaves you proud and gives you that space for reflection and celebration. So research the awards that are available in your industry and throw your hat in the ring. It gives you credibility and content for your website and socials, and you may just meet some incredible people with opportunities for collaborations and general hype girl support. You never regret an award you entered. And don't be afraid of failure in this time either. Give yourself permission to fail because we need to release that fear and accept it as part of the process. We need to release that need for perfection, which is the whole motherhood thing, right? As well in business too. And it'll just give you the freedom to try things you might not normally. And as you learn and grow, things will become less daunting and you'll be more confident in your ability to become the person you need to be to realize your version of success. We all know that it's so much easier to stay in our comfort zone. And I feel resistance every day to progressing my business because we have these prehistoric brains that think, whoa, we haven't done that before. What if you get rejected? Like you could die. But we're not living in the same world we were back then in prehistoric era. Our brain thinks sending an email poses the same threat of a tiger chase. I'm sending emails to stockists and they might respond saying, oh, they look great, but no, not for me, blah, blah, blah. My brain is like, rejection, rejection, rejection. But there is so much opportunity. There are so many stores out there. There are so many avenues to get people looking at your product or purchasing. So we just need to feel the fear and do it anyway. We've just got to acknowledge the fears, thank our brain for keeping us safe the best way it knows how, and then we can choose another way through another thought and another action. It's really empowering when you step into your power and your ability to choose your path. Now, the journey of birthing and nurturing anything is ever evolving and individualized, and that's the beauty of it. How it looks for me and you could be completely opposite, and that's perfectly okay. Just do not compare. Trust in where you are going and why you are going there. Celebrate yourself and your growth often. Focus on how far you have come instead of how far is left to go. Now, when I started my business, I thought I needed control. There's not a lot we can control in motherhood, but instead I actually found purpose. I uncovered and continue to discover who I am and just how worthy I am of the same love, admiration, attention, success that I and everyone else freely gives to their children. Now that's my hope for you, because your experience matters. So my baby, he's now 3 years old. He hasn't had a birthday party since his first. All cakes have been store-bought, and it saved my sanity. And it's just really okay to always do what works for you in business, motherhood, and life. What started as a meltdown over a birthday cake turned into an opportunity to highlight injustice and get people thinking differently about motherhood. So maybe you can have your cake and eat it too. Now, I hope this workshop has given you something new to consider or validated that you're on the right path. Remember, it's not about achieving perfection. It doesn't exist. It's about embracing the journey, learning from each experience, and celebrating your growth. So let's continue the conversation. You can find me at my website at www.motherhoodmilestones.com. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram or via email. Thank you so much.